All right, welcome back to another board drill quick hit. As always, I'm your host Kyle, and with me is my co-host Matt. Matt, tonight I think we're going to talk about your favorite thing. What is that?
Rocky Road ice cream.
Yeah, why do you always got to be that guy?
Power, same side power, coach.
If you're listening, you're watching right now. Matt does this to me all the time.
I really don't like Rocky Road ice cream either. I just wanted to say something outlandish.
There we go. So tonight we're going to talk about a little same side power. Let me load it up here. And Matt, I got three different power variations at the very end. I just wanted you to see, but we'll start with same side power here. So here we go. It's Incarnate Word. Same side power here. Talk me through it, Matt. Do you want the end zone shot?
Yeah, let's go end zone. Yeah, let's go end zone. Only really thing you get from that side is the depth of the guard. But wow, look at the guard. Stay square through his pull. He's shuffle. You see a lot of this more with the college guys, especially North Dakota State. That's the way they were teaching it for a while. We're just going to shuffle, stay square the line of scrimmage, and then once you find the place to insert, you're inserting for the inside shoulder of the linebacker. Guard does an excellent job there.
I think the guy who screwed the bad one is the play side guard here. He just doesn't quite get the down. He allows 50 to climb back over top, and that's kind of what screws the pooch here.
Yeah. 50 climbs over the top, but I'm also going to fault the back play side tackle. I mean, always work through the hip of that down lineman. Really, the center is working backside. So to me, that should always be a double team to the backside linebacker. I don't know what their specific rules are at Incarnate Word, but for me, no matter where that defensive front guy is in a four-man front, we're going to double team that, especially if he's in the A gap. We're going to double team that with the guard and the tackle. So that tackle needs to get on that guy's hip and make sure he's turned. Yeah. You can be patient getting to that linebacker. He's trying to sprint to that backside linebacker. Being same side, it gives the action that backside linebackers should freeze. Right? It looks like running inside zone at him. Right?
Yeah,
with the offensive lineman movement.
Looking at it, right, here's the gap right here. Because, right, this is your free hitter, but, right, if he would have, like you said, what is it, the gallop technique or whatever people call it, I don't even know. Sorry, all offensive guys. But like you said, if he would have pinned that hip a little harder, then climbed, well, this guy gets here, and now there's your gap right there for a big run. But as it is, right, they don't quite get 50 moved down. He's able to close that gap back in. And the running back keeps it tight because he knows he can't bounce it because your free hitter's just sitting out here. I mean, there's no one to block that guy on that play. So
and you can be late to that backside linebacker because even if he overruns it, you're fine. So you can just wash him with wherever he goes. So no need to get there too fast as the play side tackle.
All right, so here's, again, we always talk about these teams in different ways of doing things. Now, good job of just motioning into a wing, right? It's just same thing, slightly different. It's what I appreciate these college teams do.
Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of running it out of this formation because I think you're really looking to get a kick on that end. You're asking a lot out of a wing to get inside leverage on that defensive end and work him back out. And look what it does to 77 there. You got your square pull there. He ends up with the defensive end right in his face, which means that linebacker is unaccounted for. The running back does a good job hitting straight downhill off the hip of the center and finding space. But I'm not a fan out of this formation. I always found it tough.
My favorite thing in this play is the frontside tackle getting a piece of the backside D tackle before climbing to the backside linebacker. Watch him. Bang.
Yeah. But he does on this play what you wish he would have done on the previous one, and you would have been fine. You stay flat, and then get to that linebacker. See how that linebacker, he can overrun it. And that's exactly what I was saying. He can overrun it. You can take him and take his momentum with him and let him work outside the play. But
which we see that with counter all the time.
By the tackle there.
When we've done these talks, we see that with counter where the linebacker overruns it. So.
Yeah, look what happens to the backside tackle. You got a nice clean wall there. It's just that wing on that end kind of muddies things up for the running back.
Yeah.
Still
50 thought he was going to get the center again here, right? 50 does a great job putting hands on, and look at that extension by 50. This is everything you want your nose to do. And he's going to shed this guy, and he's like, all right, I got this. Bang.
Just not ready. Not ready for that offensive tackle to come down on him.
Who would be? asking a backside, he's a backside 3 tech to realize, hey, the play side offensive tackle making a piece of me. So,
Coach, go back to that one more time. I got one more thing I want to point out to coaches. I loved running this play on the hash because really you tell your running back in this on the same side power, you're hitting off the play side hip, and it gives markers to where that ball is. When you snap it from those hash marks, that running back can run right down those hash marks, down the outside of them. So I think it gives a great visual. Look how this running back almost gets too much. He tries to bend it too quick instead of just hitting it right off the center's ass.
I mean, it's there. Look at it.
Stay right there. It's there. It's there. Even though it's muddied up on the kick and the wrap, it's right there. He shuffles too much.
Yeah, if he hits it
downhill
full speed,
with tempo.
If he hits it full speed right now where that arrow is, the only guy that can make a tackle is this guy right here, right? Is the safety, because that guy eventually gets blocked, right? So
doesn't even need to hit it full speed.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about tempo running it when we were coaching it, and we had a running back that was not the fastest, but because he wasn't the fastest, he had a good tempo for it.
Yeah, it helped him. Here's another variation out of that wing, like you said, and I think they start to just wash it or log it and kind of go from here.
Yeah, it looks like he's just willing to pin him inside, and they're going to wrap the guard for the overhang. They know he's going to come quick, and they're just going to play into that gap exchange and try to hit it between the wing and the pulling guard. That's tough. Once again, asking a lot of the wing at the point of attack to make the block and not get pushed back into it. Still a little bit of a gain. You know, running back starts downhill. That defensive end squeezes. That's where you want to teach that running back to bend it back. And then if you logged that, if the pulling guard would have logged the linebacker there and that safety wouldn't have showed up, then you bounce it. But you want to teach that bang downhill to bending it like he bends it here.
I'll tell you what, who the hell is this kid in 50? He makes another great play here. I mean, look at this D lineman. I know he got walloped on the other one, but he's making plays, man. He's getting hands-on and shedding. I like this guy. I don't even know what game. I'm going to have to go back and look up who this kid is, but pretty good play by this kid right here.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Let's pop to the next one. Still the same game. They ran a lot of same side power this game.
Yeah, again from the winged formation.
Yep.
Tough to see from over here on the communist side. Defensive side.
Yeah, we can go to the next one if you want to.
Once again, 50 playing it hard. Look at 50. He's in there. Look at a good extension. Once again, the offensive tackle doesn't come down on 50.
Yeah.
You got a double team. Like in my mind, there's three things that make power. You get a double team on the play side that's going to end up working to the backside linebacker at some point. Because that double team is key. You get a kick on the end man on line, and you get a wrap. End man on line, first guy beyond B gap, whatever you want to rule yours as.
Yeah.
But there's a kick, there's a double team, and there's a wrap.
When do you say, right, so he's a 2-eye. I would still say 2-eye is not a clear enough picture not to really work down for that double. When do you say, I mean, I know he's going to take a flat step before climbing to the outside backer. I'm talking about play side tackle here. At what point, if he's shaded now, do you tell him, hey, just take a quick step, check, and then go? I mean, I get here on 2-eye, you really got it right. On 2-eye, you almost treat it like a 2 or a 3, correct? Like, hey, get your butt down in a piece.
I'd say head up for me.
Yeah.
For me, it's head up. Because
head up on the center.
If you're a shade, okay, so let's talk defensive theory. If you have a shade on the center, where's your next defender going to be?
A 5.
On the backside. Sorry.
Oh, and a 3.
And a 3.
Yeah.
So you're going to have your center work back to that 3 because you can't trust your offensive tackle to always get it. So for me, unless he was head up and we knew we had like a 4-eye situation on the backside or wider, which is what you usually see from the head up. Now, sometimes you get those 3 techniques.
Yep.
But if he was a shade, for me, it was still a guard tackle double team. I was not putting my center, going to have my center try to get his hips around a shade. Only if he was head up.
Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah. My rule for my center was first thing head up or backside on the line.
All right, here's your better side, but we got the pole right down the middle of the running back, but let's see it.
Yeah, it's fine. Man, look at them shuffle. That is a shuffle from that backside guard pulling. But look at the timing of it. It times up. Coach is always wanting the guys to sprint out there. I'm not sure he gets the right guy, but he's in proper place. He probably should have inserted there, but once again, not a good kick by the wing. That wing spot, tough. He probably should have filled there inside. I'm not clear who he pre-snap ID'd as the guy he's pulling to, because you only really have one linebacker in the box. Looks like a safety and an outside guy. Probably the outside guy he identified as a linebacker, and the 4 is the safety.
This was a tougher one for them. They finally double down on that 2I, but then they don't get to the backer, right? They just crush the 2I. That's kind of it.
Right there. 77 should have got up through the hole, but
right there. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Oh, go back on that, Coach. Yeah, look at the tackle here. Look at your play side tackle. This is what you want. You have engagement by the guard. Tackle just comes through his hip. All you got to teach your guy to do is to throw that elbow, throw that old school flipper through the guy's hip, just enough to turn it and prevent him from rolling over into that B gap.
Yeah. Yeah, but I thought he does a much better job coming down here. Just got to get the climb. But I'll tell you what, there's a heck of a move by the running back here. It just makes the backside linebacker whiff. But there's that dang 50 again. Look at him getting back in the play.
That running back's
every time that kid's in the play. So, all right, I think we got a few more same side power. Then I have a couple variations I want to show you, Matt. I kind of enjoyed them, so I figure you'd like. So let's watch a few more.
A few more of
motion
these. Here.
He's nice and tight for you.
Here we go. But he doesn't get the inside shoulder. Look at him. He sits and waits on the guy. You got to attack through the inside leg of this offensive tackle. That's what we always used to teach. If you're going to be aligned in the B gap, we got to attack through the inside leg of the offensive tackle at the defensive end to get a good kick. Because he's going to squeeze, right? We're expecting the squeeze, but still trying to prevent it.
Yep. Yeah, so good squeeze by the defense there. Let's see if they do it again. See, I know they have one good one down here. It may be one where they log again, though.
Ooh. Yeah. Great job by the offensive tackle there. Once again, another squeeze. Hard to get for the wing. He squeezes across heavy. And then your pulling guard gets a piece of that outside linebacker that walks up. And usually your rule is first linebacker in the box. And if they don't have anybody inside the box, I guess 43 would be your next guy.
In theory, is. He's out there. I mean, he's in, I don't know what you want to call that. He's hipped off the wing. Somewhere. But yeah, he'd be the play side box backer that you have to count, I assume.
Yeah.
But they get it blocked up pretty well. Again, if you're making the play side safety make a tackle, then you're doing pretty well. I know someone else slides in here at the end.
Yeah, and for coaches not sure about like using the shuffle or staying square for pulling, this shows that you can. I know we're talking about upper level athletes, but this guy stays square, and he's patient until he sees who he's got and he explodes on him.
Yeah, so, I like that method. I mean, I don't like it for that. So, all right, let's go to the variations. So this is fun variation for me, right? So 21 personnel I formation, then they're going to shift them down and then run power. So they're going to end up, this time they run it weak. So little different variation here.
Another thing that North Dakota State used to do a lot was have a fullback or something and run weak side power away from the tight end. A lot of times against a 4-man front, you get what ends up being just like here where you got a shade, and that gives you a nice, clean look. You slow play that, Coach. Yeah, we get guard. I mean, you're stunting away from it, so that guard ends up chasing. Beautiful there. Tackle ends up taking the crossing end. I'd say 70's a little wide just because he probably wasn't expecting it. He should be inserting right there. Yeah, he's a little bit. I mean, you see where look at the hash marks.
Yeah,
the hash marks should be your guide for the running back of where to hit.
And he just keeps it off this guy's butt right here, right?
Yeah, he's looking right past that down right there. So if 70 gets his head inside, and maybe he's fitting off 70, but if 70 gets his head inside, and that running back keeps it right down that hash.
Yeah, because if 70 hits him here, then now look at that alleyway right there. This guy has no shot of folding at that point. So really cool variation, and they do it to the tight end here in a second. I really enjoyed this one. It's just one of those ones you see on film where I'm like, hey, this is different. So now they're going to do it to the tight end, I believe, and they arc the tight end. So it's an even kind of added thing to make, right? The defensive end's in a 6. Then they're going to arc the tight end, talking about an easier way to get a kick here. This isn't a bad idea.
Good job by the tackle. Watch how the tackle, he comes down, hip, backside linebacker. Talking about the play side tackle, 75. Hip, play side linebacker, and look at the wall that's built. Highlight it, coach.
Yep.
There's your wall that you want that running back to run right down. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. No, I think they do a great job here. And again, this was a cool way of, I know this guy doesn't really arc with the, the DN doesn't arc with the tight end at all, but they know that they play a 6. So now this is how they got him widened for the kick. Smart move, right? Because if you know the defensive rules, if they play 6 to a tight end, I know I did as a defensive coach, good way to widen them, get a fullback in there, and then bang.
No, it's running back. Once again, a little bit wide for me on the fit, but he fits up to the right guy. 0 works outside, so that works.
Yep.
I love that arc release to a tight end. That's what we would do every time against the defensive front. If we're running it to a tight end, we're arc releasing for the alley player. Alley players walked up in this situation. That's easy for the tight end. That's perfect. That's easier than going and having him 5 yards off the ball back there in that little ball, that linebacker area. Yeah. You like him walked up. That makes it easy on you.
Yeah. See, I knew you'd love this variation. So I found it and I said, Matt will like this. So here we are one more time to the tight end. Obviously, same game. This was something they saw on film. They knew they could take advantage of. They don't get the 6 this time. I guess he's kind of in the 6, but right, this guy's playing off the tight end. Kind of looks like a choke technique, so he's going to actually widen with the tight end.
Oh, yeah.
18 does a good job of just being patient here. He ends up missing him.
Doesn't even block him. Doesn't even need to. Look at what that arc does to him. It moves him so far outside that 18 doesn't have to do much there. He's just got to get in his way. Great job by the... Oh, man, I spoke too soon. Good job by the guard seeing that stunt up front and going and get a piece of it. Man, you want him to lock on that block there instead of just throwing a shoulder.
Yeah.
Number 70, the left guard. But get the stunt there up front, that cross blitz from the linebackers, and that's a great job recognizing that and picking that up.
If he holds on to that guy, 73
you got even 73 for, you got 73 for him.
For either this guy or that guy, whoever you want it. But
you got regardless,
that's what you really wanted. Good play. I love this variation. Again, what always sticks out on film for me as the defensive guys are things that would have given us trouble. We would have had to make an in-game adjustment to this, and that's why I like it. That's why I want to show it to you.
Yeah, and got coaches out there, having a running back that's patient is key for this play.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want a guy that's going to sprint downhill running a 4.4. He's going to just run into a bunch of bodies. You want time for this play to develop, and it's okay to take that time.
All right, Matt, here's one for you.
Okay. All right, we got a little Yaz action.
12 personnel. They're going to shift both these guys. They're going to put one in motion. Now, they snap it when he's backside. But, right, Matt, this is power because he's going to be the guy that kicks, and then we're going to get a pulling guard. So, in my book, this is power. Am I wrong here?
Yeah, let's play that again. No, I don't think you are at all.
So we're going to get the pulling guard, and the pulling guard is so patient here.
Front side.
So bang,
front
bang.
Side, we get our double team. We're working. We're pulling. Look at that. Beautiful.
This is a great variation of power. I'm just telling you right now.
Great variation of it. Great variation.
Get this guy with the head of steam going right at the D. Now, and then we talk about those angles, Matt. You talk about you want the guy to line up tighter and all. Well, you can't line up any tighter than the other side of the field. Yeah. Now he's got a great angle. Yeah. It's almost like a split zone block, but it is power by the traditional rules of the power. He's the guy that kicks. There's the puller.
Yep.
And boom, there goes the running back. Love this variation. I only saw him run it once so far. I haven't broken down everything, but boy, I love it.
Can you go back to the all 22 view, the sideline cam? So I can see our formation, what we got. Boom,
so it's
we trade the tight end, so we go unbalanced. I love it. Man, what if they put a variation in where you're leaking that H out into the flat and bluffing the, faking the block on the end.
To the flat? No. Matt, you're wrong here. This is the variation. bluff that, and there you go.
Okay, yeah.
Leak
flat,
'em.
wheel it, whatever. Wherever you can get them to.
But boy, this is a great job here. I mean,
like
look,
that.
I know the DN doesn't do a great job squeezing here, but he's not sure what's coming here, and then bang.
Yep.
And then, like you said, watch the patience of that guard. I love him. He does such a great job. Just a great play.
Excellent variation there.
All right, Matt, last variation. Had to show it to you.
Here we go.
This is
double tight eye.
We did say North Dakota State. Obviously, it's not North Dakota State, but buddy, this is North Dakota State football right here.
Not far
this is
from
what it reminds me of. Oh, buddy, because you know what you're getting. What kind of power are we getting?
Yeah, but hold on, timeout. You don't know which way it's going at this point. That's what the beauty of it. You don't know which way it's going to go. You know what you're getting. You don't know which way.
So you see the alignment. We know we're getting A-gap power here, baby. Here we go. Oh, I guess it's not A-gap. But...
Well, it is. I mean, to me, it is. You don't quite get your double team there. You got a B-gap defender still.
Boy, my favorite thing here is out here. These two guys.
The arc release. Yeah.
Both sit with this guy. He blocks two guys effectively.
Arc releases are crazy, especially down in the red zone, and you got to play like this, and there's no receiver out there. If he arc releases, it immediately looks like a route. That he's going on a route.
Well, here it is. Because this is your DN.
It freezes 27.
He's because 27 has a man-to-man. So he's the edge player, and they're playing choke, which typically is when you press the guy and play man-to-man and let the edge player play outside. So the arc release takes them both. And then great job here by the fullback. The guard gets just enough at this point. He's just got to get a piece to not let two settle his feet, and then bang. And the running back does a great job of just keeping it tight, right? Because if he bounces it here a little bit, if he decides to go here, this guy folds and maybe makes the tackle because you see he gets, so maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I'm making that up, I guess, but there's a chance he could. So anyway, so ending it with a little, eye double tight power. I thought you'd appreciate that, Matt. So
love it.
Really, Matt, kind of the base thing with power. I know you talk about it all the time. So why don't you go through your three key elements and the most important teaching pieces of it real quick before we cut it off?
Yeah, once again, it's three components to me. You got a play side double team. I don't care if it's anything from a 3, a 2, a 2-eye, a shade. We're gonna we're gonna double team with the tackle and the guard in those cases. If we get a head up nose, that's gonna be a guard. That's the only case we'll get guard center.
Yeah.
Those are the only situations you really see, and those were our rules. So one, you got to have a good double team that works to the backside linebacker and seals him or pushes him past the play. 2, you got to have a good kick. So whether you have a fullback or something, a lot of teams run, fold and they're outing. So I don't call that power. You don't get a true double team, right? You got to have a double team. You got to have a kick. So you got to get a kick. And in my mind, he's got to be from the B gap or further inside, or like you saw that motion. And then you got to have a wrap. You got to have a backside player wrapping for linebacker, play side linebacker, and fitting on him properly. That's what makes power. That's what makes it a tough play. You get that little inside, I like to call it the vortex. Just you look at it, you see that spin of people where you get the down blocks and then you get the puller wrapping behind them. It's like that little vortex builds a wall of the front side guys, and you can build that wall and you can get isolation backside linebacker on a play side linebacker or some backside O lineman on a play side linebacker. It's beautiful.
And it's a play we still see very prevalent at the high school level. I don't want to say it's disappeared, but we've seen it a lot less on college film now and obviously pro film. But I still think there's a place for it, and I definitely think there's a place for doing it creative. And like you said, there's something to be said about the same side stuff, because we see so much of the other things. We see the way counters run, all that other stuff, and running same side power, and then some of those variations shifting and moving those guys to get the angle on power. Because I think that's the biggest problem. People steer clear of power because defense has gotten so good at squeezing it. Well, now here's some variations that you can still get the kick by the different angles you can give guys. So, and we've kind of seen that escort motion, prevalent. Obviously, it started with Georgia Tech last year, and all that. We saw that early on, but it's become a big thing. So, if you're out there and you love power, why don't you give us a like, give us a subscribe, tell Matt your best variation of power, and we will see you next time on another Board Drill Quick.